Hey guys, welcome back to another Fundamentals series video. In this one, we're going to be going over all the tools that you need to be successful with anything that you want to do with your horse. Let's get into it. So I use the word tools that you need. So we're going to be covering rein positions and leg positions. And each one of these yields to me is a tool that you're going to need to be successful with any particular pattern or purpose or maneuver that you'd ever want to be able to do with your horse, okay? So let's start off with a really basic riding rein position. So I don't necessarily know that there's even a name for this, but one of the things I would encourage you, if you're on a green horse, is you're gonna have two hands on the reins, but the reins are still loose, and you're gonna go neck rein, direct rein, okay? I'm not in the camp that it's really fair to give your horse a direct rein right off the bat. You know, if you don't give them any really signal that that pressure is coming on, most horses aren't going to get along with that very well. They're going to start tossing their head and be a little unhappy about that. So get in the habit of going neck rein, direct rein. So you see I got my hands kind of close together like this. Neck rein, direct rein. And you're just looking for that horse to change angles and turn. It's really that simple. Neck rein, direct rein, okay? From here, you're going to switch to one-handed on the reins. And from this position, I want you to be able to change hands with the reins like this, okay? And be able to lift and slide, lift and slide. I'm lifting so that I don't have to lean forward to reach down to get a hold of that rein short. That would, if your head and shoulders get ahead of your hips, it's really easy to fall off. And so you want to stay upright, and you're going to lift and slide. We'll go into the next rein position here, which would be an indirect rein. So this rein is going to lift up and come across the horse's neck and across my body with it. Watch this. And this binds up the shoulders and allows the horse to move their hindquarters over. Now, I could use my leg if I needed to, but when I'm teaching this tool, I really like the horse to just understand, move their hips off of this rein. So you can see him moving and my leg's not even touching him there, okay? Now, we're gonna do this in a little bit of a combo. So I'm gonna go indirect rein like that, and then I'm gonna roll that into a direct rein. And what I'm looking for here is for him to step his front feet over like that. I'm wanting that connection from my right rein to his right front leg and step over. So let me show you that sequence again. So again, we're here, we're riding, we're just cruising around. I don't usually do this at a standstill. I do it from a walk or a trot, okay? Let's go from a trot here. So we're here, we're trotting. I'm gonna sit, lift and slide, pick that rein up, ask him to kind of roll his hips over like that. Now watch, I'm gonna bring my weight back, sit back, and connect this front rein to his front right leg. As soon as that leg steps up, I'll turn it loose. What this does is it builds the horse's understanding of what each of those things means, okay? So a lot of times when somebody calls me for help with a horse and they're trying to do a more advanced movement of some sort, there's usually a breakdown in the horse's understanding of the rider's leg position or that rein. That rein or leg ends up taking on some meaning that the rider didn't really want it to have, and that's where the problem is coming in. So when I'm first teaching this in the Fundamentals series, right, this is when you want to get these fundamentals really solid. So watch here again. So I'm riding along, I'm actively riding, one hand on the reins. I'm gonna quit riding, sit, I'm gonna lift, go to an indirect rein. This rein comes across my body. I'm trying to isolate the hips moving, not the shoulders, so you can see that he's pivoting. My weight can be slightly forward over the horse's shoulders. Now I'm gonna shift my weight back, look around, and ask him to take a big step over that front left foot. This is also gonna set me up for one of the things I like to teach, which is spins, okay? So that little move there is setting this horse up to have all the tools that he needs to really understand those maneuvers, okay? Again, I don't think I need to show that a lot more. I think you guys got the idea there. The big thing is being able to lift and slide, whether you're riding with split reins. I have them, you know, the split reins, I just have them crossed over here. This is more of a training style. When a horse gets a little further along and I'm spinning like the majority of the ride neck reining, I'll hold the reins like this, where the reins are crossed over here. If you're riding in a loop rein, a rope rein, or English reins, you're already here like this, so that's fine. So you should be in good shape there. But I teach a lot of neck reining like this, where I can just very easily switch hands. And once I get the horse pretty solid, you know, for this horse, another probably 3 months, that's when I would be switching to spending most of my time riding one-handed for the Western style here. But right now, while we're in the fundamentals part, we're gonna be here. We call this a bridge rein. All right, now the next rein position that we've already covered, but I'm just gonna review it one more time just so we're super clear. we're going to talk about the relax rein position. So the idea with this is you're riding your horse and they become a little bothered, a little impulsive. You're going to lift and reach down and bend the horse, but this time you're just going to flow onto a little circle. So notice this hand is by my knee, and I'll draw that rein to my pocket and then lower it back down. Go to my pocket, drop it down. And then with my inside leg, I'm asking my horse to bend his rib cage around that leg, and see how he's starting to keep slacking that rein? That's what I'm looking for. That's when I know I'm really winning that game, okay? When he's keeping slack and holding that position. If I'm ever riding him and he becomes upset, bothered, defensive, he'll act like he's never heard of that rein position before. And that's the whole point, is to then apply this rein position until he remembers it. And then you go, okay, now I got my relaxed horse back. That's why we call this relaxed rein. So it's pick it up and release. And then a lot of people ask me, what's your outside leg doing? My outside leg is using that for forward, momentum. Because when I'm doing this, notice I'm not pivoting on the front end and disengaging the hindquarters like we did in the indirect rein. I'm riding him forward, bending him around that inside leg. Very good. And from this position, you could go into an indirect rein, yield the hindquarters, flow to a direct rein. This is a great little combo exercise to practice getting good at feeling where your horse's feet are, okay? So these are great things. I do these to some degree every single ride. These are part of my warm-up. I check out my tools, check out my rein positions there, and we're gonna go with that. Now the next thing I just wanna cover kind of quickly is the 3 leg positions. Again, these are crucial that your horse understands this. So we have leg position 1, which would be right here. So I'm gonna take my leg and just slide it a little bit forward. That would be leg position 1. What does this do? It moves the horse's front end, okay? So if I'm riding and I'm steering and I wanna steer a little more, I might add that leg. If I'm doing a turn on the haunches, I might move the shoulders over. So I can that's for controlling the shoulders. Then I got leg position 2, which is right where your leg's hanging. And to apply that position, I'm just gonna slowly turn my toe out and then start to squeeze here. And this would be a side pass button, okay? So it's like if I press that, I want that horse to move out. Third leg position would be the hindquarter yield, okay? Leg position 3. So I'd use that leg to choose what lead I want. I'd use it to control the hindquarters of the horse for different lateral maneuvers, and just for that basic hindquarter yield. So now, here's the catch. When you switch over from working on your rein positions, I will choose to deliberately make a focus on my leg positions. Okay, so this week with my horse, I'm doing the rein positions. But next week, I'm probably gonna focus back on my legs, okay? So what that means is, before I use a rein, I'm gonna cue him with a leg. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slide this leg forward, I'm gonna press that button, and I'm expecting him to step his shoulders over. Now, what did he understand that meant? He walked forward. So now I'm gonna pick him up with the reins and hold. And I'm gonna hold and my leg is still on. When he steps his front end over, then I'll take that leg off. One of the things that I hope you notice there is I didn't take my reins and turn him with my reins. I just impeded forward movement with my reins and I waited until he stepped off my leg. This isolates those leg cues, okay? You can use them in combination, but when you're teaching them, isolate each one and get your horse to really understand each leg position. The mistake that most people would make is if they put this leg on and the horse walks forward, they would take it off and go, oh, that's not what I wanted. But if I do that, I just taught him leg on means step forward. Versus if I just press this leg and hold, impede forward movement with my reins, get him to step over and release. I'm building his understanding that that leg position coming on, even if I'm at a walk, it means step around. Yield the shoulders and step over. Very good. Same thing is true for this leg position 3. Press that leg. I'm gonna lean forward just like I did in my indirect rein. He's walking forward, so I'm gonna pick up my reins, impede the forward movement. When his hips step over, I'll release. So I'm trying to not give him a direction with the reins when I'm isolating leg positions. Okay, it's really important. If I said, like if I rode 100 horses in a year, I would say like 95% of them understood rein positions, and I would say only 5% of them understood leg positions. This by far is the weaker of the two. A lot of riders are not utilizing their legs well enough here. So take the time, really make sure your horse is getting these leg positions down. And you don't have to do it in a big arena. You could do this in a round pen, a smaller space. You could practice it on the ground first, and then do it in the saddle. Anything like that. Now let's take a quick look at leg position 2. For me, this is a big graduation day for a horse when you can start using leg position 2. Here's why. if you don't have your legs, and you're kind of about in the arena where I'm at here, and you decide that you're going around to the right, but you decide you want to be on the rail, if you don't have leg cues, you're going to pull the horse over here to the left just to turn around and pull them back to the right. And if you ride like that all the time, you're going to drive your horse nuts, okay? What you want to do is this. So again, let's say I'm here and I want to keep going to the left, but I want to be over there by the rail. Watch this. I'm just going to keep my horse's nose bent to the left, and I'm going to apply leg position 2, and I'm just going to leg yield over there. If your horse understands leg position 2, I didn't have to ever tell him we were going somewhere else. I just got to yield him over, and we're still traveling along. Your horse will really appreciate you getting to this level of graduation where you start guiding them more off your legs and not just changing their flexion every time you want to do a turn, okay? So let me just show that one more time here. So if I'm on a left bend, and I'm on a little circle here, and I decide I want to be on a bigger circle, I don't need to turn him to the right. I can just apply that leg position 2, and I'm feeling for him to step off of it. There, he stepped off, my leg will release. If I want to keep going, I'll reapply it. Step again, take it off. So every step that they take, apply it, they step off it. It shouldn't be like this, where you're pushing them over. If you do that, you'll end up teaching your horse to wear that pressure, and they can get a little sour. So I hope this video makes it really clear the tools that you need. Get clear position, focus on 1 or 2 of those things each ride and go, I'm going to get this rein position or this leg cue really solid in this ride, and just work your way through them. And it's really going to help you and your horse have clear communication and be a better partnership. So go ahead and give it a try.